Hi, I'm Logan T. Smith for Opinion Subject to Change, and welcome to my Patreon exclusive spoiler chat for The Tomorrow War. So I watched this one on Amazon Prime because that's the only place you can watch it. And first of all, it's supposed to be ultra high definition. It doesn't really feel that way. It does. It's streaming, so there's only so much you can expect. Amazon Prime doesn't have the clearest streaming out there. So I don't expect this to be some beautiful 4K amazing stream. Like Disney Plus's 4K streaming, definitely better than this was. It looks nice and all, but it just doesn't have the level of detail you would expect from a 4K video. So if this ever comes out on 4K disc, I'm sure it will look way nicer than it does on stream. So just so you know, that doesn't really hurt the film that much, I don't think. Unless this is just amazing looking if you have better resolution. But I don't know. It's not that great. This movie sort of reminds me of Raya and the Last Dragon. In that the story... There's one major difference. The problems with this one are major story problems. There's just so many things that don't line up. Whereas in Raya and the Last Dragon, it's not so much the story that's the problem, except for the ending. It's the way the story's told that's the problem. This one, the way the story's told is okay, but the story itself just has some structural issues, significant structural issues. So, yeah, there's so many things that don't really get a payoff. So, for example... the daughter is digging in the dirt to find vaccines, basically, to find things to be able to make vaccines with, just like they had talked about on the couch or whatever at the party. I think he was talking about, do you know who such and such person is? And yeah, they're the person who created the tuberculosis vaccine. And where did they find the tuberculosis vaccine? They found it in the dirt. So you would kind of expect from that seems like foreshadowing, that the cure to be able to defeat the aliens is somehow in the Earth already, and you need to find the thing in the Earth to be able to get the vaccine for the aliens, wouldn't you? That would make sense. That'd be a nice little, here's the foreshadowing, here's the payoff. But no, that's not what happens, of course. They already have a toxin that would kill almost all the aliens at the very beginning of this movie. They already have it. They have a toxin that will kill all the males. Why they don't deploy that is never discussed, really. It could sort of be handled by the we don't have the means to mass produce situation. But it sounds like they've had this thing for the aliens for quite a long time. And then they do end up being able to create a toxin that will kill the females, but they get it out of the female. They just take a blood sample or something from the female to then use to simulate doing the vaccines. And it's all done on a computer, it seems like. They're not testing it on the animal. In fact, it's never tested. It's never tested. The first test is when it's deployed in the alien ship right near the end of the movie. So they have this vaccine that a computer says is 100% effective, but it's never used on any aliens the whole time. So we don't actually get to see that, yes, it says it's 100%, but we don't really know. They didn't test any of these toxins. These various ones are like, oh, it's 36% binding, it's such and such percent binding. But we don't see any of that happening. It's just all the computer just keeps telling us, and they put this little sample things in the cup. So, for the most important element of the story, it's, as far as the story of defeating the aliens is concerned, that's, or at least it's played up to that point to being the most important part. It's really... there's nothing going on. So I guess when there was nothing going on with that, I should have been watching that and going, oh, okay, this toxin doesn't really matter, because even though they're spending some time on it, they're not showing us it. So maybe I shouldn't get attached to it, because the toxin ends up amounting to basically nothing. since they end up just blowing up all the aliens instead. The toxin is really... so they use it to kill a few of the monsters in the test tube, or the incubation tubes, or whatever you want to call those little things. But then they don't... That doesn't really matter, because they end up blowing up the ship with the C4. And they end up shooting some of the other ones, and then there's one that gets away, and they end up fighting it and then killing it with the toxin. So, I don't know. And the toxin ends up sort of just being sprayed in its mouth, so it also makes you go, well, why at some point these people have a flippin' time machine, they have a toxin that they know will kill all of the males, which appears to be the vast majority of the aliens, is males. Why are they not mass-producing this toxin to kill the males? I know, it won't kill the females, it won't solve the whole problem, but they have a way of killing pretty much all of the individuals that are attacking them. Because the females are hiding out and pumping out more babies. But if you can kill all the males that are attacking you with this toxin, why not mass-produce that? Put it in grenades, put it in dart guns, put it in something that you can propel at these aliens, and then instead of dropping explosives on Miami, you could drop fogs of this toxin on Miami. Now, we don't know if the toxin also kills humans, but we do know that we're told that it kills all the males. So, why are they not using it? Nobody knows. It seems that they probably had the toxin that kills all the males well before the people from the past or the present ever even came to the future. I don't know. It seems just... That is probably the biggest problem, is the way they handle the toxin. They have this vaccines in the dirt. The toxin comes out of... is not cured from anything in the earth or the dirt. It's rather in the alien itself. They have this sort of global warming illusions. It's actually fairly directly talked about, because the ice is melting and the aliens come out because of the ice melts. So pretty directly referencing global warming, but doesn't make it an environmental message at all. Like, it feels like, I think you get all the negative parts of having this global warming message in it, but without any of the positive parts of being like, and if we prevent global warming, then these things will not happen. It's not clear that if that ice stayed frozen, that the aliens would never come out. Or that humans wouldn't at some point dig into there, since in the in the present time they were able to come and sense it, and there's this weird magnetic anomaly, and someone is eventually going to discover that and go digging to try to figure out what it is, and then they didn't have to warm up the ship to make them wake up. All the aliens woke up when they killed a few with the toxins. Anyways. So someone could have come in that ship at some point anyways, even if the ice never melted, and let all those monsters out. Anyways, the other thing too is when they come back from the future and they discover the alien ship, and they're like, okay, so we found the ship. Now, should we go back and get reinforcements? Oh no, it might take a while for the government to get coordinated. You've got 30 years. You have 30 years to get that stuff sorted out. Okay? And you end up just blowing it up with a bomb. So, at some point, you probably could have just gone back, got some reinforcements, talked it over, and been like, you know what, let's not take the risk. Let's just lay a bunch of bombs in this place and blow the crap out of it. That could have happened. They could have figured that out. The U.S. military leader guy says, you get me proof, we can do this. Well, he doesn't really say that, but the implication, at least I thought, was, if you can get proof, because you don't have proof, I'm not going to do it. So that suggests to me if you do have proof, then we can do it. So now they have the proof, and rather than go back, they're just like, let's just deal with it now. It's like you got an alien spaceship full of aliens that wiped out all of humanity. They killed everyone. And you've got like 6 people, a few weapons, a small supply of toxin. Like, what did you think was going to be on that ship? Like, did you think one alien came out and, like... Did you really think you had enough to kill every alien that would be in there? I guess they didn't know the details of the first attack, but they should have known the details of the first attack, because it seems like the people from the future have been coming for a while, and somebody would have said something at some point, and they had a guy that had gone on 3 tours to the future, so he should know a fair amount about the history of these aliens, I suspect. But he doesn't know them. The aliens just appeared one day, and there was enough of them to cause a real problem. Because even though these things are difficult to kill, they get blown up by just regular explosives. You can kill them with just, seems like, pretty regular automatic firearms. And they kill them just with other semi-automatic rifles as well. The ending was quite disappointing on this one, because they have all these toxins and stuff. The only real good payoff you have is that at the beginning, the one guy wants to talk about volcanoes, and then it turns out that because he knows about volcanoes, they can figure out the location roughly of where this thing should be, because of the millennium eruption or whatever. But you don't really need that kid, because you have the internet, and you have this other expert that also knows about that when the kid mentions it. So I'm pretty sure you could figure it out without that kid. So it's nice for that kid to have his moment, where it seems his entire character changes, but maybe I just read too much into the little bit we knew from the beginning of him. So that was kind of weird. Another, like, really disappointing thing to me was at the beginning they have, like, these post-tour psychiatry sessions or something, where the people are talking about the things that they saw and heard and the horrors that they had, and he's talking about this terrifying, horrifying clicking noise. And so I'm thinking we're going to be hearing this clicking noise to build up tension and stuff. But it doesn't really happen, and the clicking noise isn't really, it's not scary at all. It's not, they don't have it be scary. Like, I think you can make a clicking noise scary, like in Jurassic Park, the clicking of the raptor's nails, or claws, or whatever you want to call them. That's scary. I mean, at least the first time I watched it. Not now. But the clicking of these aliens is not even close. The white spike clicking is like nothing. That's not what's scary about them, because the people are around and they hear the clicking and they're not freaked out by it right away. They see the monsters. Right? We don't, the first time we're told about the monsters, we're told about the clicking. The first time we actually encounter the monsters, they see them at a great distance. It's not clicking. So why talk about the clicking and then not do the clicking? Anyways, I guess that's not a big deal, because it isn't a horror movie, but I think it could have had those horror elements. Just like in Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park's not a horror movie, but there are horror elements to it that just build that tension and emotion in the movie. That is really, I think it really helps to make the movie a whole experience that the Tomorrow War just isn't. It's just not. I already mentioned basically the smart people make dumb decisions. They just, so many things. It's like, well, why are you doing it this way? For example, they catch the female and they have it in a helicopter. And they know, and they've already said this, that the males want to defend the females, and they will really try hard to defend the females. They're going to attack and claw and fight and everything, and we have already seen it happen, that the males came swarming to protect this female. And so, but we know they can't fly. They're like flying squirrel things as well. But they don't actually like flap and fly. Because if they could just fly, then there's all kinds of other problems that aren't addressed. But it appears that they cannot actually fly. They can fall with style. So they have the alien in the helicopter. And they know that the males are going to try to come for it. So they bring it to the last bastion of human civilization, the one place in the whole world that they desperately need to protect, right next to their time machine that's enabling them to function, in a place where the monsters appeared not to be attacking generally, in the ocean. And then they bring a thing that will lure all the males to attack, right into the place where they need them in the whole world. The one place that's most important that the aliens don't attack, they brought the lure for the aliens to attack. Instead of keeping the alien in the helicopter and flying it up and then maybe finding some place to refuel, landing, getting fuel, taking off right away, and while it's in the air, taking blood samples somehow. I mean, they have a flippin' time machine. Don't tell me that they don't have some way of firing a dart that can extract blood and then recoil up a string. It's basically like a dart gun with a rope attached that you can just pull it back. And instead of it being a dart that pushes stuff in, you can just have it pull stuff out. Like, that doesn't seem that complicated to me. So that's annoying to me. Because the humans caused the problems that they had in the middle of the movie, really. And that's the big climax, is when all the aliens attack the oil rig or whatever that's been converted to be the time travel tower thing with the research facility. Why those are in the same place, I don't know. The time travel tower that doesn't appear to need to be anywhere near where they're teleporting people in or teleporting people back to their own time. Doesn't appear to be anywhere near them that's important, so why have the research facility close to it, and why not just build that thing somewhere else? I don't know. I guess you could say they didn't have enough resources to do it, blah, 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 but I feel like they should have. I don't know. Because they could have put it on a ship. They have a giant cruise ship that we see right as it's blowing up. I don't know. It seems super, super weird. There's also, like, a lot of swearing in it. It's one of those moments, too, where there's, like, somebody just swears, like, 1,000 times in a row. Which, I obviously don't like that. But it also, like, it sort of takes a moment that could be a tense, exciting moment, and when he's just swearing over and over and over and over again, it seems like they're trying to make this tense, exciting moment a comedy moment to me. Like, that's a funny thing to do, or something where people are trying to be funny, easing the tension of the situation, rather than building it up. And this is, I guess the character that does it is one that supposed to talk a lot when he's nervous, and of course he'll be super nervous, but I don't think that having him swear over and over and over and over again is the right way to do it. And of course I watch with subtitles on, and so that makes it even worse. At least I think it does. There is one sort of really funny moment, I thought, in the movie, where when we first see all the recruits and they're being told, hey, we're gonna give you clothes to repair the clothes that you have, and they talk about extra ventilated jeans and cargo shorts and stuff and being replaced, and it's like, and the one guy's looking around, it's like, I don't really understand the clothing criteria. Like, I'm wearing a jacket that's just clearly form over function. So yeah, people are wearing t-shirts with no covering on their arms whatsoever, and that's okay. But shorts, where they don't cover their legs, that's no good. You got to change that. And where do they go? They end up going into Miami, where they're just in a city anyways, and I don't think there was ever an issue where clothing became a problem. But it was a funny moment because it was obviously ridiculous, the clothing requirements, and the guy just points it out. It's kind of funny. There was another line that I thought was like so heavy-handed, was where the main character goes to his dad, and the dad has a Desert Eagle, pretty big handgun, and the guy says, oh, the main character is talking to him about it, and the dad says, oh, it gets the job done, and the son says, it gets the job done of showing you have a small dick. It's like, that's a really stupid joke at all, and it doesn't make sense in the context. Like, you're here to ask your dad for help, and the first thing you're doing is saying offensive things to him. Like, I understand your relationship with him is bad, but that is not how to influence people. Like, you're not gonna curry a lot of favors by coming in and mocking someone for their firearm choice. Yeah. Anyways, I just thought that was like so stupid of a joke. I did like, though, when main character gets home from his tour and he is coming home and he brings the garbage can up from the street to the house as he's walking up. I thought that was a nice touch. I liked that. Doesn't really mean a lot, but it's I liked it. So I think that's what I have to say about it. Okay, movie. Sucks that it screwed some things up and didn't make a lot of sense when you think about it. And all the smart people are really dumb. Reminded of the line in I, Robot where he says, "You are the dumbest smart person I know," or something to that effect. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.